PyroFalkon's Streaming Sundays. Forgot the name of my own show. That's professionalism. And today is December 3rd, 2017. You are watching Streaming Sundays number 141. We are playing Yi and the Thousand Moons, which was given to us for free by the developer. And in a cool twist to our normal procedures, that developer, David Su, is in the voice chat, or not the voice chat, but the text chat that you see in the bottom right corner of your screen. I might wind up moving that because I know this game is very based on the... actually, I'm going to move it now, in fact, because... So, the draw of Yi and the Thousand Moons is that it is a musical. It's a short game, but it's a musical. So those of you who like musicals and games are about to be in for a treat. And I've left subtitles on because I did read one review that said something about that reviewer had trouble hearing it. And of course, since we lower the audio anyway, it's probably best that the lyrics will be on screen. So, hello, David. So David is in the chat. Anyone who is in the chat as well, please feel free to ask him questions. And David, please feel free to chat about anything you wish during the game. And if you want me to stop moving for 5 seconds so you can answer some questions at length or whatever, just let me know in the chat. So we are going to get started here. And of course, the Akamura is with me.
Hi.
And that's going to be awesome since she has her music training, or history rather, and I had a feeling she would really be interested in this, and the perfectionist in me is going to move the YouTube chat again. Because since it's left aligned, it should be on the left edge of the screen if possible. There we go. Alright, Pyro's happier now. Alright, anyway, let's get started with Yi and the Thousand Moons.
Yes.
I went into it basically blind. I read the Steam store page, and a link for the game will be in the video description as well. I was about to read this, and I wasn't sure if she was going to sing it for me. Moondrops. Darkness is expanding across the world, and the gods plan to combat it by harvesting moonlight. They want me to help them by shooting the moons down, but the villagers have warned me that the moons are what protect the earth from stardust. I don't see any way out of this darkness, though. I'm going to shoot down the moons.
This always ends well.
Yeah. So, we have a slight loading lag only because of the way we're recording. I'm going to shut up now. Hi, Yi.
Gods have ordered me to shoot down the moons for reasons that they can't quite cover. Oh.
Lots of moons in the sky. I do have control now. Already I was grabbed by the simplistic art style. Like, I've long said you don't need cutting-edge, multi-million polygonal graphics to suit a mood as long as everything looks good. A little nervous about jumping off the mountain, but what the heck, we are Yi the Archer.
Let's go grab that divine bow.
Must get the divine bow.
Lena says this is the real reason Mario's collecting moons in Odyssey, to save them from Yi.
Yeah. He has to collect moons? I haven't played Odyssey yet. I'm actually keeping myself on a media blackout from Mario Odyssey for that reason. That's adorable. Ryu wants us to strap some nukes to the arrows.
I mean, they're moon shooting arrows, so...
Whoops. There it is. Whoa.
Should I put those to an end, to an end? I don't know if the earth will recover.
I really like this style of music. We are already causing some problems here. Oh, sorry, E. It's like there's no reticle, so I'm having to sort of, there it is, feel out where the center of the screen is. But the music is dynamic, which is a very cool choice that...
Shoot that closer one.
Closer one? That one?
Yeah, it'll be easier.
The fire?
Yes.
Yeah, the music's dynamic. Like, it basically uses simple loops until you get to a certain spot of the story, and then it plays the next verse, which is very cool. It's almost like a musical version of Bastion, I think. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels. Orange-gray skies. Stardust has poured into the atmosphere, engulfing the planet in a suffocating spectral haze. The villagers were right. I need to talk to them about this.
This is why you don't listen to gods. David Sue says he hasn't played Bastion all the way through.
Bastion... I didn't like it as much as most people did, but I did like it. I felt that, like, Bastion's whole thing was that there was a narrator who was narrating what you were doing, and it was a great gimmick, and my issue with Bastion was that the gameplay didn't hold up, in my opinion. But, you know, what's my opinion? My opinion is just one person's opinion. But I did play it all the way through. It was fun. I do not regret the purchase. Alright, let's see what these villagers have to say about things.
Probably some mean stuff.
I like Eastern architecture.
I want to try to make do that. Why did you do that?
I want to try to make a house in The Sims that looks like this. That volcano is incredibly angry. I kind of want to go out and see if I can touch one of the moons. Oh, it won't let me. I have a feeling E isn't going to be liked very much. I'm going to see if I can go touch the moon before I talk to anybody else. Lena says, I think I have to argue the musical version of Bastion is Transistor, and I have
Looks
never...
like they're in the water and you can't quite touch them.
Yep, the water isn't invisible.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can go touch it. I've never heard of Transistor. We may want to look into doing that one for the show. Ooh. Can I... Oh, no, another invisible wall. Okay, that's fine. Let's go talk to the villagers. I'm sure everything will be fine. And Lena is very surprised, apparently, that I have not heard of Transistor. Good thing she's on the regulars list. Nightbot would be angry with all those dots.
She's awakening you.
That's okay. Hello, villager guys.
Ryan Gagliardo says you should try Town of Salem.
I did not like Town of Salem. I'm not a competitive gamer kind of guy.
I can fix it all. I can fix it all. Just drink up it's in my hands, and I'll find a way. And I'll find a way. I'll talk to the gods of my highlands. Get them all to save everyone today. Once they restore our home, we'll finally rest our bones.
I could absolutely go to sleep by this music. It's lovely.
Yes.
David, were you the sole composer of all the songs in the game? And please do tell how the game came about. Like, did you have the idea for the music first and then it kind of morphed into a game, or was it the other way around that you set out to make an actual musical game? Oh, he was the sole composer. This is very lovely music.
Yes.
But yeah, give us some history on the game, too. Is the gate an actual gate? Well, it's messing with me, and it's hurting my brain looking at it, so...
Jeez, God.
Oh, it's like it's got a second skybox or something, because you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not scrolling. Yeah. The world is scrolling under us. Oh, that's trippy. Let's see what's on the other side. Oh, that's even more trippy.
Wow. The gods need a better screensaver.
Or like... oh man. Alright, let's go appeal to the high gods. Woo!
Just drink up, it's in the right hands. She can find a way, she can find a way. She'll talk to the guys in the highlands. Get them all to say, everyone today, stay restored. We'll finally rest our bones.
Seriously, this music... Oh god.
He's been wanting to do a kind of interactive musical for a while, and he did a similar thing with just one song last year. But he wanted to do something with more story. Originally, the story had to do with Sharon and the crossing of the River of the Dead, which sounds really interesting.
YouTube gave me an error. I've been sending too many messages. Oh, sorry, David. Yeah, I think it makes you stop every 5 seconds or so. I need to set up a list on YouTube or Nightbot that like allows developers to be exempted from that stuff.
Lord Arido says, I have a feeling the gods wanted to screw over the people on Earth. When don't they?
Yeah.
Seems to be their thing.
Poster child. This is my first time in the High Lands, where it looks like the stardust hasn't hit yet. Definitely still dark, though. I'm here to meet with the gods, who I hope I can convince to restore the moons and protect us all from this stardust. I have a feeling for poor Yi it's not going to be that easy.
Never is.
I assume I need to shoot those gongs.
Look at you and you're someone's child. First place, top cherry spec. Let them all go and find you. They'll all go and find you. I was wondering if you... Now you hear what a wild, wild world. God like God, tis God that. Don't look far behind you. You'll let it all blind you. Please can you? And you say that you want the rules back. Well, it's nothing we haven't heard before. The way it's going down is that in fact it'll be a couple 100 years or more.
Wow, these gods do not seem like they care.
Nope.
At least not as urgently as
Yeah, smack that
we need
third
them
one.
to.
Let's see what the other guy has to say.
David asks us, how would we describe the music stylistically? And there is no way I would have enough confidence to speak on that because I can barely tell any genre apart. Like, I mean, I can by listening to it, but I have trouble discerning and describing a music style in words, if that makes sense.
It sounds like the words of a myth mixed into a sort of trancey vibe with some urban beat to it. It's nice.
And Mark said it reminds him of folk, but fused with a cocktail lounge and jazz, which is a great, delicious phrase that it's kind of self-explanatory why it would make me fall asleep in a good way. Like when I used to listen to music to fall asleep by, this would be the type of music I would listen to.
Yes, this is exactly my jam.
Please won't you help restore the moons and save us all? Please won't you say that you want the rules back? Please won't you slow down so fast? Please won't you help?
for ye.
So, summarily, no.
Summarily no, and dismissed entirely from the god's home. Ugh. Looks like it's up to ye by yourself.
Maybe we just have to shoot down more moons so they get Stardust at the hill.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe the gods will care once it's their home that's... Whoa.
So you said that you want a new home. Have to try building a vessel of stone.
Thank you for a solution.
Yeah. Interlude. The gods refuse to restore the moons, even though it's only a matter of time before the Stardust reaches the Highlands too. But I have a new plan, and I'm determined to get the villagers on board. Yeah, solutions are nice, you know? That's what we keep begging for when it comes to feedback for the book and the channel.
Up, you're in the right hands. There's another way, maybe an escape. We'll shoot further than the Highlands. In another day, just another day, craft our vessel of stone. We'll be on a new home.
But won't we be invading somebody else's home?
Good news, the villagers think the plan is solid as a rock. The bad news is that between the darkness and the stardust, it's getting more and more difficult to breathe the air here. I'll head to the mountain to collect stones, which we can then use to craft a vessel. Can I just say, I like the exposition pacing here. Like, before the show, the Akamura and I were discussing exposition because we were watching another Let's Player play Ocarina of Time. And the Zelda series has gotten very talky, and that's just something I don't like in games and movies. I mean, I don't mind it as long as it, you know, moves the plot along, but a lot of AAA games have this thing about wanting to pack in as much story as it can. I like brevity. Are you guys gonna help? Just gonna hang out here?
Yep, he needs to go to the
Alright. I mean, you're watching me, so you could follow me and... No?
Girl, you did this. Go. Scoot
Okay.
your boots.
Breath of the Wild is only talky if you go after the story. I believe that. I haven't played Breath of the Wild either. Very behind the times. Poor Lena is always so ahead of me in game news, like... I don't think she realizes just how little I pay attention to games media anymore.
David thanks you, and he says that pacing is always super tricky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because if you go too quick, then the audience is left with, what the heck are you talking about? But, you know, I mean, I've talked about before that the way I pace my book is to try to speed things along a little bit, because I've read too many books like Harry Potter 7 that was too in love with its own prose.
As we sail for a new land, when everything's glorious, it'll all be glorious. But we're so far away,
It is so hard not to sing along
so
now that I
far
got the baby.
away.
Sing along.
Can't wait another day. Not one more day.
You know the fans love hearing you sing. You'll have to project. You are nowhere near the audio of the
I'm
game.
humming and my mouth is closed, so...
Ooh. That looks like a little fireworks display. Even though it's the moon bleeding stardust. Whoa.
Oh, God.
We're not so far away. Not so far away. Won't wait another day. Till not one more day. We're not so far away. Not so far away. Won't wait another day. Till not one
David says we can make a karaoke version next.
Oh yeah, I should have introduced you to David. Lena is a sort of a developer on her own. Or not even sort of, she is a developer on her own. She participated in a wonderful puzzle game called Ultra Hat Dimension, and she does a lot of Ludum Dare stuff. Yes, hobbyist dev, thank you. Thank you. I was trying to find the right word for it, because it's sort of a slap in the face to be like, kind of a dev when you've made games, you know? It'd be like calling me an aspiring writer, even though I'm published. Like, that'd be a slap in my own face. Anyway. Moving on. I'm kind of glad to have made the connection. A new home. The villagers have finished building a vessel from the stone that I collected. Now it's the time for us all to board the ship and get out of here before it's too late. A sail made of stone. I don't know.
Says it's a very wooden-looking stout ship.
Oh, am I in control? Oh, I am in control. I was just listening to him sing. I am curious too, David, not to overload you with questions there, but I'm curious how long the whole recording process for the music took, and how long the whole game took overall, like your development time. But obviously I'm especially curious about the music. We can do it. We can get out of here. We can escape. Lena says she loves all the things that can be done with audio in games these days. I remember back in the Super NES days, which is how I grew up, like, there were 5 channels on the audio, if I remember right, on the Super NES. So it was like, could do so little back then.
David said it was about 4 months of development, because it all kind of happened in one big mess.
That's awesome, though. You can make it, Yi. Please tell me Yi makes it. Okay, good. Ice cream castles in the air.
Goodbye, orange gray skies. Gonna leave it all. Gonna leave it all. Stars and suns and moons before our eyes. Gonna see it all. Gonna see it all.
Did our 4th villager go missing?
I don't know.
Maybe she's below deck.
Gonna see it all.
The Steam achievement titles come from Joni Mitchell's Both Sides now.
Oh. That was very cool. And the cast, well, I was about to say something incredibly stupid, so never mind. But Dominique Starr absolutely brought the power to her voice. Like, she was very, very good. I can't believe that was a half hour already.
Wow.
Like, as soon as I saw the word cast, I'm like, we can't be done already. That wasn't a half hour. That was totally a half hour. Holy crap. It's beautiful. was a very beautiful game. I liked
you
it.
Can go to songs.
Yes. Which song did you like singing along with? Or I don't want to put you on the spot too much if you like them all.
I couldn't catch a proper beat of all of them, but like, let's hit Moondrops.
Moondrops, the first one again. But yes, definitely give Dominique my compliments. She has a lovely singing voice. Oh, so it's just a jump to the... It's like a chapter select.
Where do we begin? Do we begin? I hope we're trying to save each other. The gods have ordered me to shoot down the moons for reasons that they can't quite cover.
If David doesn't mind, I sort of want you, the Akamura, to practice these songs and sing one or two for the fans at some point. You know the fans will love that. But yeah, I just splashed coffee literally in my face. Well, I cleaned my glasses, because I'm very much a dork. If you check the video description, you will see a link to the game as well. And while we wrap up the main stream... Awesome. That's good to hear as well. I will put a link to that in the video description as well. And David, please do plug away if there are any other projects you're working on while I sort of wrap up what I am doing here. Yeah, go check out the... We'll update the links in the video description to put the iTunes OST as well. And I will absolutely be buying the OST because, like I said, this is very chill music. I've said before, I kind of made a small... Oh, no, wait, the podcast hasn't gone up yet. So in the podcast, I think I mentioned that I don't just relax sometimes, and sometimes I'm too busy and I don't take time to just chill, and this kind of music will actually help me do that because it is so very relaxing. I love it. And David, if you're going to do any more games, especially like this, please contact me because I want to give them some signal boosting and show them off to the Blazing Hawks here, because this is definitely up our jam too. We at PyroFalkon's Let's Play Extravaganza are not exactly the esports first-person shooter MOBA crew who only cares about KD ratios. So we would love any kind of art project, game or otherwise you are working on. And you always have a friend here on the channel. But that will do it for our main stream. Don't forget, if you are watching this live, you can stick around for the after party where we will go to Jackbox Party Pack 4 and maybe other Jackboxes. And of course, David, you are welcome to stay if you wish. And no pressure, though. But if you are watching this from the archive, thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week for another stream. Any chance you get an achievement for shooting at the gods for ruining everything?
That'd be nice.
It would be nice.
Do you get an achievement for standing on the top of the volcano when you start shooting?
Huh. I wonder if it forces me off, actually.
You have to go down and get the bow.
Oh, yeah, so it does force me off. I probably can't get back up once the thing happens. I'm going to try, though. We are going to try. A little overtime for the mainstream.
I just
I'm
realized
curious too.
I'm one of those gamers who always checks for fire damage in a game.
Fire damage?
Yep. Ooh, a fire. Does that mean this game has fire damage? Stands in fire. Yep, sure do.
David said it was in the works, but he didn't have the time. Let's see.
Looks like you can't walk.
Yeah. I mean, I can...
Oh,
I can at least get to the back to the top. Come on, ye. Work those leg muscles.
He says there were going to be all these other achievements, like trying to walk into the river or walking into the clouds.
Cool.
Don't
Maybe for your next project. Let's see.
Let's shoot some moons.
Shoot some moons.
Sounds nice and close.
Yeah, the lack of a reticle is kind of... There we go. I am not a good shooter. That's why I'm very bad at first-person shooters. There we go.
Such a good song.
It is.
Should I put those two in end? I don't know if the
It will just all be achievements. Oh, please don't be one of those achievement hunter type of devs, though, who puts 10,000 achievements in his game.
Can we mend what we begin? I don't think that the earth will recover.
No. He's pretty strong. She can take that explosion. Yeah, and you're very low, so no one can hear you. That's okay. Anyway, for those of you watching from the archive a second time, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next week for another stream.